Okay, we're live. Let me take a minute or two to get my other computer set up. What did I just do? I hit the camera, I'm pretty sure. God, now I gotta move that computer. Sorry. Now I can see better. Alright. How's that? Better, better, better. Oh, I'm pretty low energy today, you guys. That's all I can say. I'm doing my best. That's all I can do is my best. Alright, moving some stuff around. Alright, here we go. Still getting set up, sorry. Alright, hi Flo, hi Judy, hi Kimberly, hi Terry Brett, hi Lisa. I'm glad you got your box, Lisa. Hi Barbara. So, yeah, low energy day for me. I'm just, ugh. I even went back and forth about even streaming today, but I thought, well, what are you going to do all afternoon if you don't have people to entertain you? So you are my entertainment. Hey, Rachel. And because I'm low energy, I just went back to something familiar and easy. So there you go, and I'm going to put you guys to work. So, yeah, we'll have people coming in here. Hit that thumbs up when you come in if you don't mind. If you're watching YouTube, just scrub forward until you get to something that looks like it's fun. But anyway, I haven't seen Linda Rentz here yet, but the other day, well, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you guys what has been going on. For the last, I don't know, few years, occasionally I'd pop on and ask for prayers for my niece, Jessica. She had an autoimmune disease, and it had been being treated well for really, oh gosh, 3-4 years. She'd been to Mayo Clinic and all over the place, and last October, I got a call from my brother, and out of the blue, was not expected or anything. They hadn't heard from her. They went over to her place and they found her dead. They say it was progression of the disease. Hi, Icy. So I have not been able to say anything about it. Hi, Kristen. And that's why lately I have not asked for prayers for my niece, because she went to heaven. And I'm sure my mom and everybody was there to greet her and welcome her. Hi, Sharon. So, just because of circumstances and whatnot, they hadn't done a funeral or anything. So this weekend we had the memorial for her. I had been just dreading it. And so all last weekend, or all last week and up to the weekend, I was really dreading it and just not feeling good. And so this weekend was really stressful for me. I did get to see people that I hadn't seen in many years, which was a good thing. But I just hate the circumstances, you know. So thank you, Rachel. I always appreciate your prayers. So yeah, we had the memorial for Jessica. So I guess since I had involved you guys for so long, really 2 or 3 years, I think I've been involving you. Now you know the end of the story. So yeah, it was tough, and it's tough for my brother and sister-in-law. You know, you hate to see somebody you love in so much pain, you know. So what I'm hoping this weekend was a lot of healing. Um, you know, one thing I'll say about Jessica is having the autoimmune disease was her entire life. It's what she lived 24/7, and it was painful to watch, and it had to be sheer hell for her to live. So it was one of those circumstances where she was only 33. Um, Nobody should die at 33, right? But I didn't see that it was going to get better. So I hope she's done with that. That's what I pray for her, is that she's in a better place. She did her time, as painful as it was, and now the rest of us get to live with the pain, I guess, for however long. Hi, Crafty Jen, B, Icy, anybody I missed coming in while I went through that little tirade there. It is hard, Terry. So God bless you and your family. It's hard. Now she has a perfect body. Exactly, Judy. I'll show you a picture of her. Let me get it real quick. She was a beautiful girl. And that was Jessica. A really gorgeous girl. Smart. She had won the Bill Gates Millennial Scholarship. They paid her to go to school. And I agree, Rachel. I was blessed to have had her in my life. So that's why if I've been funky, that's why I've been funky. This has been weighing on me for quite a while. So, and they did a slideshow of her growing up. Honestly, I'd forgotten. Oh God, she was such a little cutie, and yeah. So, God bless you, Jessica. Now we'll go on to art stuff. She was really beautiful. The reason I said something about Linda Rentz and hi to anybody else I might, hi Julie Ridge. Yeah, I don't like keeping things from people, you know, but it was just one of those things until it was kind of resolved, I didn't want to talk about it. And the reason hi Barbara Clark, talking about Linda Rentz and Tim is when I got back from, and it was a emotional day. I'm not a person who cries a lot, but I have to say I cried a lot. But when I got home Saturday from the memorial, there was a box sitting on my porch, and of course I hadn't ordered anything, so I was thinking, what the heck? And I got in, and here's this box from Amazon with this little pretty little thing. And Linda Rentz and Tim were kind enough to send me a whole bean mineral violet watercolor. I have never tried whole bean watercolors, so this was my first. And unlike Dee Dee, who has to wait to open everything until you guys are there, I don't do that. I'm not gonna do it because that's stupid. That's like the most adult thing in the world, and it just doesn't make sense in my world. But I think I've complained here and there. I hardly ever complain. I know you know that. But I think I've complained that there's two colors in watercolor that really kind of stump me over and over and over. One of them is purple, and this is the mineral violet purple. So that one's really pretty. I do like that. So watch for the swatch. Exactly, Rachel. You got to watch for the swatch. Well, I just did it on the envelope that came in the box, but I had to, of course, pour a little pan and play with it. It is very pretty, and I will put it in with my Daniel Smith and M. Graham's. So Linda Rentz and Timothy, thank you so much. It was so kind and generous, and it really made coming home that day a little bit happier, because I dreaded going, but I also dreaded when it was over. So you get a present, you rip into it. Yeah, hello, of course, Terry Brett. You get something, you rip into it. I think it would be ignorant not to. So there you go. What else? I have done nothing else. I haven't really been doing much. Perfect timing, right? I don't know. Sometimes I think the universe does that for you, Rachel. I just believe the universe somehow gives you a little boost when you need it the most. Hi, Uncle Dan. I just said why my weekend was stressful. You can go back and watch if you want. But now we're on to bigger and better things, so what the heck. So I told Dee Dee, Dee Dee won't be here today because she's out horsing around with Buddy, and I don't blame her. I would be too. Of course, Dee Dee has known about this whole thing all along, and she's helped prop me up here and there, and she knew I was going to have an icky weekend, and yeah. So she's out having fun with Buddy, and I can't say that I blame her. But I did tell her that I would try and do an April Beast. Look at how dirty my fingernails is. I think that's frosting from a cupcake. Anyway, that I would try and do an April Beast in a traveler's notebook, and I haven't picked this up for a few days, so let's flip through it together and see what I've done. I'm going to go back to my lists like I used to do in the past. For me, that's very comforting. I like writing things down, and I like checking them off. So that will continue. So I tried to do month at a glance. I don't particularly care for this, but I think the basic layout will stay the same. But yeah, who knows? So I intend to do much like I've always done. I might collect the weather or whatever, but I intend to art on it like I always have. Keep track of my life. Yeah. So it's the 11th. It's Monday. So yeah, I've done pretty good. I have done something in it every day, I guess. Not much, but so that's about how far I've gone. Not great. Not great at all. And then in the regular Beast, all I've been doing is playing with monsters, is what I'm going to go ahead and do today. So that's really all I've been doing, you guys. I've been so not myself. But I got up someday. Hi, Marty. Well, thanks for the thumbs up, and you go have some fun, whatever it is you're going to do. Hi, Terry Lynn. What was I going to say? Oh, sometime over the weekend I got up and there was a notification from Lena. Lena was going to be streaming live. So I went over to her stream, and these were some of Lena's monsters. And she didn't give me this idea, which is really, really weird, because I had decided I was going to use this Linda Berry book, and somebody in chat at some point had asked me, have you done anything with the Linda Berry books and the comp book? And so while I was reading this book for the last couple weeks, I mean, I pick it up and read it periodically. He did the mash, he did the monster mash, yeah. So she actually did one of the exercises out here to create your own monster. So while I was watching her, I went ahead and did her tax collector. And if you haven't seen that stream of Lena's, go back and watch it, because she's so good. She is just so good. I love that book too, Barbara. I like all of Linda Berry's books. The first one I got, I think, was Syllabus. And I'll pull my camera out a little bit. Was Syllabus. And there's a lot of things in here. There's a lot of information just about drawing and how you approach your drawing and critique your drawing. I mean, here you see a lot of drawings that you think, well, those aren't very good. Try and do half these drawings in here, especially if you're more accomplished and you can draw. Drawing like a child is very hard. It's not an easy thing to do. So Lena was doing it, and I had already decided that I was going to take certain elements out of the Linda Berry books that are attractive to me and repeat them and go ahead and create in my little half composition book that Dee Dee was kind enough to send me. And I'm going to do an entire book of making monsters. So initially I'm going to draw out of the book, this drawing alphabets, and draw some of them. But I thought what would be fun is to give them a name, give them a career, give them a location where they live, and just do that. But this I was drawing along with Lena. That's Lena's tax collector, Mr. Norman Grump. And then she did Norman as a 16-year-old. So I don't know how much how much of that I will do, but I think it's fun. And if you know about how the body grows, you know, like a teenage 16-year-old Norman would be so different than, say, a 33-year-old Norman, middle-aged Norman, and then an old Norman. So, yeah, I don't know, but in addition to doing that, I will be writing stories about the monsters and their lives and who they're related to, and yeah, so I'll put this in here just because it's fun to keep. So that's what we're starting. I did sometime over the weekend, I did the first page. So that first white page syndrome is done. Is that a toad tax collector? Actually, to me, when she originally drew it, my drawing isn't as good as hers, okay, mind you, because I was just doing it quick. She did the whole thing that Linda Berry does, where you take a page and, let's see, I'll just use a pencil. You break the page up into 4 sections, and then in each of the sections you just like close your eyes and make a scribble. And then out of that scribble, and you do it 4 different times. You have to come up with some monster. So I'll just grab one of these pencils. On this green one, okay, we're going to say that that's his rump or his thigh going into his leg. This could be a wing. Big eye up here. So he's moving that way, right? So we'll draw his other leg in here. So that's a very elementary approach to how Linda Berry makes her monsters. We'll put a tongue sticking out. And then you can alter them anyway. And in the book, Making Comics, there's a whole section on that. What to do first, second, third, and fourth. This one definitely, that's a beak for sure. So this one's going to look more like a bird. There's a wing. So that's how you just go about making monsters or any kind of creature out of just scribbles. And it really tests you. Hey, Kathy Arbor, you're going to make some of these? Well, I'm going to draw out of the book today, Kathy, in my new Making Monsters journal. So, but these are really fun. I would say, if you're sitting with a piece of paper and a pencil and you don't know what to do, this is a great thing to do. I also like writing a lot, so that's why I thought I'm going to go ahead and not only draw the monster, but give him an entire life and give him relatives and all kinds of things. The one on the bottom left looks like it has wheels on it. This one, this would be my bottom left. Yeah, that's what you guys. So you're saying this looks like a wheel? And then this could be the wheel underneath. Why couldn't a monster? Because what ultimately turns them into some living thing is if you give them eyes and a mouth. What's the first monster look like and his or her name? Well, this one in the book so far, his name is Zug, and I gave him the job of disc jockey because the way his hands are positioned, it just looks like he would be working on a turntable or something, right? And he just looks like a guy that potheads would want to hang out with. So I'll probably draw a turntable out here that he's working on and then write his story back here. And because it's on comp book paper, you can see that I'm probably only going to be using one side of the paper. The first one looks like chicken wings. That could be. I didn't have chicken wings, but I sure would like some. I don't make them myself. So you can just use the shapes to get you moving in a direction, something that's not human. Like this one now definitely needs, okay, that was his wing. We'll go ahead and bring his body down. But she gave him a weapon, or I kind of thought that was Janet's Yellow Pages phone book. Why wouldn't you work in a yellow phone book? You could do that because you don't need it for phones anymore, because you can just look up phone numbers on the internet. Okay, Robert is a phone book hoarder. I'll admit that. Okay, and I did take a sheet out of the comp book to see which pens bled the worst or whatever. They're all equally bad, so that's why I decided, yep, we're doing one-sided. Who cares? And that's plenty of pages. It's like 100 pages. I don't want to spend a lifetime on this, but then another thing I did was I went through the Linda Berry books and did a section on, these are some of the borders that she uses out of her book. And of course I hoard borders, so there's tons of borders you can use. But I think it's all just stretching your creativity. And not spending too much time worrying about the results, I guess is the way I would put it. Is you just do it, you get what you get, and it's all good, right? So one of the things she does in, I think it's this book. Which book is it? Well, I think this is the only one. Anyway, she does these yellow borders a lot. So I thought to make the book cohesive, I'm going to go ahead and do that on every page. They'll all be the same basic format with just different monsters and stories and stuff like that. Thumbs up, please. Looks like Uncle Fester. So, in addition to kind of setting it up and keeping it all cohesive, I'll probably use the same supplies. So I thought I'd use this Prima Classic watercolor set because it's always in on the couch. Most of this is going to be art on the couch. I might do some on stream. I will show it to you guys. I'd questioned whether or not I was going to show you until I was like halfway done. And then today when I actually had to come up with a project to do, I thought, well, this one's easy. You are Zentangle and Border Master. Why not, Rachel? You got to do something in life. So I'm going to try and use pens because I want to be able to watercolor or use markers or whatever on it. I'm going to use pens that are waterproof but have nice black ink, which in my opinion is the Copic Multiliner. So this is the 02. Hopefully it'll be adequate. And you can change it as you go along. So now you heard about my crapola weekend. It wasn't crapola, it was a necessary weekend. So, yeah. And here in a little while, I'm going to put you guys to work. And you know how Dee Dee does mind mapping on a lot of things? I'm going to have you guys mind map so you can be thinking about this. Some careers, some planets, locations. I'm thinking they can be real or made up. Your choice. And if I like it, I'm going to use it. So Zug here is a disc jockey, which means he probably hangs out in bars and weddings. And then you got to wonder, does he have siblings? What was his childhood like? He looks kind of machine-like too, with his crazy claw hands. So he could be part robot. Can you show a better picture of the monster? Yep, let me see if I can find him. Is that a better picture? I'll put this step out here so you can see. Take a screenshot of it so you can see the step out of how it was drawn. I don't necessarily care if I do it the same colors that they used or, yeah, just whatever. Did you get a screenshot, Jen? Hi, Dorothy. Anybody else I missed coming in? What have I been telling you for years, Dan? Whatever it was probably a big fat lie. I do know all the best monsters in town. That's all you get, Jen. No, if you need it again, I'll pull it out. But if you don't have the book, that's why I went through that whole thing at the beginning. If you don't have the book, I have books, so I'm going to use it before I give it away. Make your monsters like this. Because there are no rules. No rules, I'm telling you. You get to make the rules. So I'm hoping this will be a fun book when it's done. And then as you're doing it, you can use other drawing techniques or rules or whatever you've learned along your path. Or make new ones up as you go, right? His bio, coming from a mechanically minded genius. There you go. Hi, Janet. I love other people named Janet. We're really a group of nice people. All right. I'll ask you guys, what color do you think Zug should be? because I'm going to use the watercolors on him. And see how it already went through? I always have to check. That's why I'm only going to be using one-sided. Favorite food? There you go. See, now we've got you guys thinking. Favorite food? Lobster. I'm particularly fond of lobster myself. I'd rather have crab. My new purple, Barbara, you are on it, bad girl. The half pan isn't dry yet, but we'll go ahead and use out of it anyway. I use this water brush, even though I hate it. It still has yellow in it, I think, from earlier. It does. Ugh. That's why I hate this one. It actually sucks up the color. Yeah, I can't use that one. That's okay, we got more. This one's so battered, but we're going to use it anyway. It's my fave. Oh, it's got a skin on it. All right, we're using the new purple. And some people may not like the crinkle, because that yellow border on the edge of the pages is watercolor too, which makes the paper very crinkly. That does not bother me. Some people it may bother, but it doesn't bother me. I don't care. In fact, I kind of like it. I love that crinkly kind of sound when you open the pages. And right now they're pretty warped, but as time goes on, they'll get less and less warped, I think. If it doesn't, who cares? This isn't going to end up in a museum, I don't think. And it's just another reason to use your very cool tools and supplies that you have. We're going to do that little cap on his arm a different color. I'm going to have to take off this sweater. It's hot. Oh, we had storms all night again last night. I hate storms at night. It can storm during the day all at once, but anything that wakes me up really pisses me off, and I don't mind saying that. I'll check chat in just a second. Do I want his arm? Yeah, his arm can be purple. Comic book paper is not the recommended choice for watercolor, okay? When I dumped him in last night, he was lime green. Man of your dreams, Rachel. Buddy's dream was funny, walking sideways and pinching people. I wish I remembered my dreams, because I'll bet my dreams would be really wonky. But I don't hardly ever remember a dream. I'm sure I dream. I just don't remember them. Okay, and the little dude's on his head. Should be purple too. No, Janet, the monsters aren't drawn. Nope, this is just the first one that I drew. Maybe, was it last night? No, it was the night before, I think. So, I like to paint, Linda and Timothy. You remembered a dream this morning? I really wish I could remember mine. I bet they would freak me out. I probably wouldn't tell you guys, because then you'd find out how really twisted and demented I am. Don't you know? If you're not familiar with the Prima paints, I like them. They're definitely not as good as the M-Grams and them, but for just playing, they're awesome. They're relatively inexpensive. And in my opinion, they are the exact same. Yeah, the rest is going to be lime green, Rachel. But they're, in my opinion, if you've tried the Jane Davenport watercolors, they are the exact same product. They come packaged the same and everything. But they are the same. And you got to be careful with some of the Primas. You do get the same color in multiple sets. That doesn't bother me. And I think I have all but one of the Prima sets. That's how much I like them. Well, that and the fact that I'm a freaking hoarder. They were selling them at Hobby Lobby for a while. I don't know if they still are. If a dream wakes you up, you note it down. I've always heard that, Dorothy, that you need to keep paper and pen by your bed for that. I'm not going to wake up and write something down. Okay, reading. Hi, Sherry. See, that's how I am, Sherry. You embrace the wrinkles in the paper. It gives it character. I think so, too. And when you pick it up, it just feels so well used. And that's kind of how I feel about the Beast when I pick it up, because it's about the same paper, maybe a little bit better. But it's all crinkly and nice. You feel that way about your face, Flo? Maybe that's what I should do. Oh, that was another thing that was so traumatic this weekend, you guys. As a rule, in my life, I don't put on makeup every day. I put lotion on usually at night before I go to bed, but otherwise I don't do a whole lot of face care, okay? This weekend, 2 days in a row, I had to put on makeup. I had to dress in real clothes, like so you could go out in public, and I even had to put a bra on. I have to say that was one of the most traumatic things I've had to do in months and months and months. Let's do the border. We're going to do the border orange. I'm going to paint right over those balls. That's why I'm thinking what color I want in the background. All right, we're going to do the light blue that I put across his body with dark blue balls. And I'll try and keep my face, or my hand, my hand out of the paint that's wet. We'll see how I do with that. But I suppose it was good for me to actually have to go out and act like a real person, because around here I don't have to do that. I should have had somebody take a picture of me and Robert, because for once in the last 2 years, we actually looked like people. Like nice, well, upstanding people. That's a rarity. So what did you guys do over the weekend? Weekends for me are usually just like any other day. Doesn't really matter. I probably cook more on weekends. I didn't have to cook at all this weekend. I'll read chat. Right, Lisa, for sure. To get dressed up and go out in public and then have to interact with those people when you get there. Oh, maybe that's why I was dreading it. No, that wasn't why I was dreading it. I was dreading it because I knew I would be an emotional wreck. And I didn't disappoint myself. Oops, went out the line. Oh well. So Kathy Arbor was going to do some of these herself. Are the rest of you going to do it? It sounds like Kitty Jen may be doing it. So good on you, Kitty Jen. And I have not gone out and worked in the garden yet. We've been getting rain, and if it's not raining, it's kind of been cool. So I'm hoping this weekend, I'm hoping tomorrow I can go get my plants, and that by Thursday or Friday, I've got all the gardens cleaned out and everything planted. So keep your fingers crossed. I won't be arting until that's done. Oh, and tomorrow's Robert Vaughn's birthday. We're not doing anything special. I'll probably, we might go out to dinner. If we don't go out to dinner, I will fix him a nice meal for his birthday. That's most generally what we do. And today is my son Jamie's birthday. April was always a lot of birthdays in my family. My mother's birthday was April. Same as CB's, actually. CB's got a birthday coming up. I don't know if CB is here, but CB has a birthday coming up on the 16th. Yeah, Kathy Arbor's gardens always. You did gardening, now I'm paying. Yeah, see, I know I'll hurt too, Kathy, but actually that pain, because I was doing some exercises on the floor the other day, and this is how stupid I am. Okay, I got on Instagram Reels or something, I don't know, remember what, but I saw this 96-year-old woman who was laying flat on the ground and kind of rolled up and stood straight up. And I thought, well, I should be able to do that. I've been able to do that my whole life. So what do? I get down and I try it. And then while I'm down there, I think, well, I should check and see how many sit-ups I could do. That's how dumb I am. But I was able to do it. I just had to put my finger on the ground for just like a second. But I could get up from the ground to a full stand by just rolling my weight forward. I was pretty proud of my bad self. Sorry, I had to leave. Did my question, are they all hand-drawn monsters? The ones in here will be all hand-drawn monsters. I got a little booger there. Yeah, I will hand-draw them all. I will use the monster book, though, to draw the monsters out of until I either run out of monsters I like or I get tired of them, in which case then I'll do my own. What's Judy being ridiculous? We got 4 inches of snow yesterday. Oh, Judy, I'm so sorry. Cake and ice cream. We have cake and ice cream around here all the time, Dan. I have this attitude, like, especially with Robert, that when you get to a certain age and place in life, you don't have to go around saying no to yourself. So if Robert wants cake or if I want chocolate cake, I don't buy big cakes. I always buy small cakes. But if we want a piece of cake, I'm having a piece of cake. Neither one of us are overweight. I try and be good pretty much otherwise. And then he loves these ice cream guys. Do you guys have Schwann's in your area? The frozen food delivery guys? Well, I have a Schwann guy who delivers stuff. And they have a few things that are just so good you have to order them. One of them, I think they're called Golden Nugget ice cream bars. If you've not had them, I'm telling you, get them. And the other thing is they sell these little, they call them apple blossoms, and they're individual apple pies that curve up, you know, and they look like a little apple blossom. Those are so delicious. You can put them in the microwave for 1 minute and they heat up just to the right temperature with a spoonful of ice cream on them. They'll make you slap your mama. So I'm pretty much, we're at an age where if we want something, just have it, damn it. For real. All right, this I'm going to let dry before I do any more work on it. So let's go back here, hit it with a heat gun. But see, now this is the problem I'm going to have, and I actually do have like a pencil board to put between them so they don't move on to the next page. But see how the paint and everything goes through? Now, I don't mind it back here, but I don't necessarily want it on here. No, you don't have a Schwann guy? Yeah, but DQ's ice cream cake tastes funky. I wouldn't go get one of those. Hi, Julianne. I wouldn't get a whole ice cream cake. We have to have small amounts of things because I'll eat one, okay, like even those apple blossoms, I think they come 4 in a box. That box will last me a month because I don't eat a lot of it, but when I want it here. Why won't my, hang on, I've got a situation here. I think my trash can's on top of my heat gun cord. There's something funky. There we go. Robert needs to get his ass in here and empty my trash can. It's full. Not really. I'll empty my own trash. They don't use real ice cream. That could be, Rachel. All right. Let's do a monster. And I'm going to switch their positions around and, oh, this guy looks good. Well, he's another Z. Let's see. Oh, this guy's a blob. We're going to draw this guy. And I'm going to take off this sweater because I'm cooking. I've got a situation here. I like that three-eyed guy too, so I'm not sure which one. Let's do the three-eyed guy. What the heck? His name is Fuig. Fuig is a good egg. Pencil. Where's my 05? Oh, you guys, talk about a situation. My graph gear pencil is not in its location. Oh, man. There it is. I just put it in the wrong location. I would have stopped the stream. I will do that, Dorothy. You don't know if they're still delivering around town or not? I haven't seen a truck. Go on their website, Kitty Jen, and you can see what deliver areas they have and whether or not they deliver in your location. I think they are also shipping now. If I get a box of ice cream treats, I have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Also snacks. Then you're like Robert, Janet, because that's a Robert trick. But the good thing about Robert, he's that way about fruit or anything. So it's really up to me to determine what is available for Robert to eat constantly, because he just grazes. All right, so he's looking this way. I have to think about the page layout when I decide where to put him. And I don't know what his... Okay, we're going to put him on this side, so he's going to be looking this way. I'll leave a little bit over here. Okay. You want me to pull you down so you can see better what I'm drawing? Oops. Okay, now just because of his big, fat, open mouth, you guys tell me what you think his career is, and then I'll tell you what I think his career is. Well, now I just thought of another one. Okay, Rachel, girl, we are like this. This is Rachel. Opera singer is exactly what I thought too. I've become a Schwanzenabler. Well, to have a quick, easy meal, they're a good thing. Okay, Sharon did the same thing. He sells beer at the ballpark. Dan! All right, let me get a piece of paper here. Okay, his name is Fweeg, F-W-E-E-G. And Kitty Jen, I'll put the picture out here so you can get a screenshot of the... Sorry, that light. Yeah, you can get a screenshot of all the things. Okay, so opera singer is what I thought very first. Dan says ballpark beer salesman. That's a good one. That would be fun too, because I could draw the ballpark and everything. Okay, Barbara thinks he manages the pins at a bowling alley. Ballpark beer vendor guy. Janet thinks he's a coach. And he's the pin setter at the bowling alley. Another thing he could be, keep throwing out your ideas, because if this one isn't his job, somebody else's will be. I think he could be a Twinkie tester. So somewhere in this, you know, Hostess Twinkie, that I could draw the Hostess factory over here, and then Twinkies just like they're shooting Twinkies at him out of a gun, and he's just a Twinkie tester. What do you think? I think he's an opera singer. And this could be the diva singing the aria, you think? That's funny. Out of control teacher. Oh my God, there's a lot of those. news broadcaster. That's a good one. Well, you know what, Kathy? He would have to be the weatherman because I don't know if you guys have this, but it's a huge pet peeve of mine. I live in Tornado Alley. So there are times when I truly appreciate having those weather people come on and do wall-to-wall coverage. But a lot of times it's just raining out. We don't need wall-to-wall coverage of a rainstorm. And we have them a lot down here. What have you been drinking? Look at CB, iced coffee. I did have a drink on Saturday, though. I had to have a drink with my brother. So I drank pretty much pure scotch. A camp counselor. You guys are good. Okay. Got it. All right, do we have his basic parts now? Okay, now what I add as far as accessories may change depending on what his career path is. So I have to decide that. Because if he's a beer salesman, I would have to put like one of those trays that they carry the beer in, you know? Beer here. So I have to be thinking about that. We have to know what his job is so we can accessorize him accordingly. How can one person lose things so damn fast? That's what I need to know. I don't know. I like the, because my first thought, and other people said the same thing, I think majority rules in this case, and he is going to be a opera singer. And I'll have to go look up a good opera. Three legs and three eyes. With those eyes, he needs to be... Well, maybe he's singing opera to kids. I like him. All right, he is an opera singer. Okay, what is his age? Because age will make a difference too, you know, because if I'm going to alter him, right now is when I would have to alter him. That it's too late when you're at that stage. I mean, I could probably add things, but right now is when I would have to make all the alterations to accommodate either his age, his career, maybe even where he lives. I kind of like the beer sales idea too, but 5,324 years old. Well, I guess everything's relative, right, Rachel? Because on his planet, that could be an infant. It's kind of like 5-year-old who told me that when she grows up, she's going to work at a gas station, snack shop, or be a rock star. You know what I think most kids today, now this is totally unrealistic, or if it's not, then this society is in havoc. But I think if you ask a lot of young people today, what do you want to do when you grow up? They're going to say something like, be a TikTok influencer, a social media influencer. What the hell? That's not a job. All right, so an opera singer, I can put a potted plant back here, or, you know, like a Venetian vase or whatever. All right, we're going to leave him like this because he is going to be an opera singer. Ready, set, let's go. I'm going to save all of these careers that you guys come up with, because somebody in this book will be what you guys have suggested. Sorry if you can hear the mower outside the window. Robert's changing the fuel pump, and he's got it on a trailer, and it's right outside the window, and I can't ask him to move it. Hi, Joan. I could ask him to move it, but I'm not going to. Poor man, he had trauma too. And I don't know, as I get further into this, I may put two monsters on a page and make them twins or siblings, or who knows. Robert is in his world, yes. If he's fixing machines, CB, he is a happy, happy boy. I don't think he was really happy, though, because he'd gone over to one of the nearby farms to mow for Kathy. She had, she buys and sells Arabian horses, and so she travels a lot. So she had Robert come mow for her. And he hadn't really serviced the mower. Hi, Kathy Berg. Congratulations on 1,000, girl. Girl. And his mower was acting up, so that's why the mower is getting an overhaul now. There we go. All right. Rachel, we're going with your age. What was it? 5,324? And now what? You can use the community page or something too, so good on you. So I'll come and watch your giveaway tomorrow. Hi, Cat and Paste. We're drawing monsters and giving them lives. Because this is what old people do with their lives. At some point. You know, one thing that was really funny. One of the guys that I saw at the memorial on Saturday, I've known him for, well, I met him right when I moved down here. Really eclectic, neat guy. I really, really like John. But I kept looking at this guy across the room thinking, man, he looks familiar. Joan, $12 a gallon. Oh my God. But anyway, I kept looking at him thinking, God, he looks familiar. It was the way he was standing or something, because across the room I don't see so good if I don't have my other glasses on. I kept thinking, man, he looks so familiar. And he came over and hugged me, and I got a good look at his face, and of course I knew immediately who it was. I have not seen him, and his hair has turned gray. And I was like, oh, I need to get out more. I just keep thinking it'll have to come down soon. Well, yeah, don't get me. How you spell this monster's name? F-W-E-E-G. And I'm going to use my stencil for that. So there's certain things that I'm just, I'm going to keep consistent throughout the whole book so it looks cohesive when I'm done. And the stencil for the name is one of them. So, but we can color him. All right, what color do you guys want Zweet? I'm going to wait for you guys. And it doesn't have to be in this set. This one's just convenient, but I can use it out of any. Fweeg, F-W-E-E-G. Did I say something different? Green, blue, and gold. Okay. Alright. And I got my sheet in here so I won't be wrecking more pages. I think I'm going to mix the blue and the green and make it more like aqua. We'll see what color this is. This looks like a monsterish color to me. So somewhere you need a little piece of paper that you can test your colors out on. Oops, don't dump that. Oh man, it's time to put some stuff away around here. Oh, that's a pretty color. That's his color. Probably give him yellow eyes. Went quiet around here, sorry. Alright, his bottom half will be the darker blue, I think. One thing that makes me happy right now is that Robert's mower is running, because I know that makes him really happy. All right, read chat. You still going for lime green? Julie, I'm working out of, I got it on sale at Hobby Lobby. And I think it's actually a kid's book, but I love it. It's called Draw Alphabets. And it was normally 15 bucks and I got it for $3.75. Okay, Robert, you can knock off the BS out there. So that's the book I'm working out of, and I have to say I've enjoyed this book, and I've liked the animation one too. Okay, and his little hoofs, or whatever they are. I'm gonna call them hoofs. Looks like his mother dressed him. Don't mothers put kids in striped shirts, and then when you get an adult, you never wear that? That's what I think. Vroom, vroom, Robert. Yeah, right. What's shocking to me, Rachel, is that he knows I'm streaming, or I think he knows I'm streaming, and he's right outside the window and doesn't give a rat's ass. It was fun having Buddy at Dee Dee's this morning, I will say that. Buddy is such a nice guy.
Finally.
Oh, we've been listening to you, Robert.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll shut the thing up here. On the keys to the truck.
It's okay. I told him I'm okay with you doing it because I know when that thing started up and it sounds normal and the mower's getting fuel that you are standing out there with a boner. He's in the zone. Tell me. He walked out. He just walked out and slammed the door. Is that why my husband... Exactly, Cat and Pace. That's how your mother dressed you. So men, when they grow up, they don't do that because that's what their mother did to them. I'm certain of it. Shall I? No, Dorothy. That's one thing in my world. Robert Vaughn never, ever, ever, well, rarely gets in trouble. I am very indulgent of the rat. The rat gets to do what the rat wants to do. Biggest single reason is he is the bringer of iced coffee, and I get to do everything I want. My mom just said, Daniel, you look like you were shot out of a cannon. Alright, and we're going to add a little bit of black to this green and do the inside of his mouth that. You have it switched down? Yeah, no, Robert Vaughn, he gets, yeah, free reign for the rat. Anybody who will drive 30 miles to get my coffee and deliver it to me before I'm even out of bed gets a lot of leeway in my world. Just saying. There's no point in fussing at each other, is really the reason. See, as soon as he knew that it was bothersome, he moved it. This paper is horrible, so you're going to hear me bitching about that a lot, but who cares? The part I'm looking forward to is writing the stories about their lives. And I promise you, they're all going to be very sick and twisted. Maybe. Maybe I'll have some of them nice. What the heck? Speaking of coffee. All right, I'm going to hit it with a heat gun real quick. Same situation. Now I have the cord going around my chair leg. What the hell? Oh, I need a keeper, you guys. I really do. I need a keeper. That's no better. Situation solved. Alright, it's just his belt that's not dry. We can let that dry on its own. We'll give him a nice yellow eye. Eyes. Multiple eyes. Orange eyes might... No, yellow eyes. I almost want to give him yellow teeth too, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's look. No, I'll just do, well, no, let's pick a border out. That's the wrong book. Where's the right book? Coffee pot being full was in our wedding vows. I think that's the way it should be, Uncle Dan. And I have to say, Robert has never, ever, ever disappointed me. All right, what looks like opera? I am going to probably put some greenery over here. Those big Norwegian horns. Big Norwegian horns. What the hell is a big Norwegian horn? Were you looking at this, Dan? What the hell? You're a crazy man. I was thinking something more like that. Central Vac was in yours, Rachel. I should have talked to you. Well, wait. The wedding hasn't happened yet. I'll get it in the prenup. How about that? All right, let's do... I have to stay away from that middle part. It's not dry. His eyes are still a little wet too. Okay, now you guys know me and know that I would be a little bit happier with this whole thing if I could use a ruler on these lines and measure them out, but I'm not doing that. So I deserve some love for that. Don't worry, be happy. There you go. Barbara, I said the word ruler. Barbara's the only one who listens around here, apparently. All right. There's no rhyme or reason how I go about this, you guys. And on these small areas, it might be faster and easier, honestly, if I use some colored pencils. So I probably will do that. And I already have some picked out for the lines in the yellow border, so. Because I will repeat some of the same elements throughout the entire book. And honestly, if I get tired of doing the monster book, I'll just tear these pages out and move them. I don't think I will, because I actually enjoy doing this. Jeez! Are you having problems with that, Rachel, that I haven't gotten the ruler out yet? I could certainly get it out. And when I say it, I mean them. Because there's thousands. I'm not sure how I want to do that corner, so let's go this way and see how it just works itself out. I'll probably just leave the corners however they end up. Won't matter to me even a little bit. And that totally goes against my nature, you freaks. Normally I'd have it all measured out, know exactly where that last line was going to end. But nope. All right, Rachel, I think I will do this border lime green because I feel bad when I disappoint you in any way. Kind of. Oh, that was a pretty good ending. Woohoo! Did Lena come in here? Hey, Lena. This is what I drew at your stream the other day. Lena's tax collector. I was drawing along, girl. I was paying attention. Now I'm doing a whole book, Lena. Look at Making Monsters. And it's going to be the Linda Berry way. Flashing out, you freak. Oh, the Well, let me see if turning off the lights helps. Don't ask me. Is that better? If I turn off the lights, where's the other switch? Now we're going to be... No, Lena, this year they, give it a second. Maybe not having the lights on would help. This year they sold the comp books in half, and Dee Dee got a bunch of them and sent them to me. I know it's better when I look at Robert's computer that's right out in front of me. Okay, we'll go there. So anyway, the whole book is going to be like that. So I'm doing the borders, the edges of the paper yellow. Yeah, so today I'm just drawing monsters, painting them. All right, I'm going to do lime green for the... Oh, I got to clean that mess up. For the border, since I boogered all my green up, we'll just clean it up. Okay. The paper in them, Lena, is horrible. And I think you could only get them at Walmart. I know that's where Dee Dee got hers. And I did go into my Walmart and look for them, and I never saw them. But I know a lot of the women did. And I don't know, did they sell them online? Did Walmart online sell the half comp book? See, I didn't even go look, because I am not a Walmart lover. Takes a lot for me to even walk in the door of a Walmart. Support your mom and pop shops. It's going to be fun, Lena. And I think part of the reason I decided to do this is because for 3 months, you know, I've kind of had the scavenger hunt to fall back on. And I was actually missing having that project. So I thought, well, just come up with a new one. And I was enthralled with the monster book, so, yep. Takes less thinking that way, Lena. And that's what I'm all about. But I'm giving them careers. And what's funny, Lena, is I had thought of this idea. In fact, I'd drawn that opening page before I ever saw your stream the other day. That's what was so weird. I was just like freaking out that, holy crap, we are like cosmically connected or something.
I'm through.
Thank you. I'm glad you got it working, honey. Is it still raining? Robert Vaughn?
What?
Is it still raining?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not going to go over and finish today, are you?
Didn't what?
You're not going to go finish today.
Don't know what?
You're not going to go finish Kathy's?
No, I can't.
Okay.
That was my plan, but it fell
Yeah.
apart.
Oh well. At least you got it done.
Can't do it in the rain.
I hear you. I got the impression that Kathy is back too,
Okay.
just so you know. Okay, that's the easy way to get a border done. Hey, Robert.
Do what?
What's a favorite watercolor? Cat and paste, I would say just as a beginner, there's a very definite difference between artist grade and student grade, okay? we do the scavenger hunt every year, Janet. And so I hesitate to say get a student grade because you might get the wrong idea of what watercolor can be like, because artist grade paints on Arches paper is the most beautiful thing in the world. Crap paints on crap paper would make you hate it. So that's why I'm a little hesitant saying, oh, just run out and get this. Because I would say to get some medium grade paper, if you can get Canson or Strathmore paper. I don't think you have to go all out and get the Arches. But get some medium grade paper. The Canson 400 series is pretty good. Another paper that I like that's pretty inexpensive is, I think it's Paul Rubin. Paul Rubin makes a journal that I really, really like. I'm in love with Daniel Smith, but looking... Okay, if you like Daniel Smith, you would love M. Graham as well. Yeah, what Rachel said, crap paper and good paint is not necessarily a good mix either. That's why I'm a little hesitant to say, well, run out and buy this. The best way to test it would be to, try some good of each. But if you like the Daniel Smith, you will also love the M. Graham. Another person who can probably give you great advice would be Kathy Arbor or Lena. Lena and I are both like watercolor hoarder people, so we probably have tried a lot of them. But if I'm left to my own devices and I'm going to plan out and do what I consider a nice painting, I will use my M. Grahams on good paper. If I'm just playing, I'll use the Prisma watercolors on anything. Yeah, buy a couple of the M. Grahams. I'm trying to think which are my favorite M. Graham colors. They're all really nice, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, Lena can definitely give you pointers. Watercolor is a rabbit hole that I think once you go down the rabbit hole, the watercolor rabbit hole, you never really come out of it. But I have to say too, and I've said this on stream 1,000 times, you can get some really, really good results from student grade as well. If you're just playing, the student grade are not horrible. That's so weird that my lighting just went haywire. Oh well. All right, I think, let me see. I think I'll use Prismacolor. Let me get out an indigo Prismacolor pencil. And there are very few supplies that I would honestly say, for crafters, go out and get the very best or get the artist grade, but and the only supply that I can say you definitely can tell a difference would be watercolor. The paints just re-wet differently. They're just, yeah. You finally bought some dagger brushes? Get on it, Lisa. Well, and that's another thing with watercolor. Nice brushes will make all the difference in the world. When I'm playing on here, I use this. Well, no, mostly I use the Black Velvet watercolors brushes. And they take a little bit of care, but I think if you pay for them and take care of them, you definitely get your money's worth. And for a real novice, get some Crayola Super Tips, a piece of plastic. Oh, for real. Watercoloring with these bad boys, just get a Super Tip. I do it on the craft mat. Put some out and use a water brush to paint with them. just to get color on the paper and to start training your hand. That's a lot of it, is just training your hand. You can do some great things with that too. So good idea, Rachel. Super tips are probably one of my very favorite tools ever. Oh, you know what? I don't want to do that real dark because I like, oh well, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care. I'll end up shading the balls probably, so who cares? Who cares? And here in a minute, I'm just going to stop for a minute, and we're just going to do a whole mind mapping thing of careers. So be thinking of some really odd ones. Either things you've done in your past or just really weird careers that you wouldn't think of. Like selling beer at a ballpark, Dan. Did you ever do that in real life, Dan? I never really had any weird jobs that I can think of. I was a babysitter, and I started doing that at about 12, 13, and I did it every day, every weekday from 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I got out of school until 6 at night, because the mother and the father worked opposite shifts, so I watched 2 little kids, and I did that for many years. And I made $30 a week. And in those days, that was a pretty good amount of money for a kid. But my dad didn't let me keep it. He made me put it in an envelope and put it in the bank every Saturday. What's up, Robert Vaughn? They're out on the table in the breezeway. That was the last place I saw them.
All right, thank you.
What happened to spring? I don't know. We're having a pretty nice spring. Hi, Brenda. I mean, it's been... See, I can't even complain because I think every year I complain that it's a little cooler and wetter than I remember it. But we usually always have wet springs, so... I'm actually kind of dreading the ridiculous heat of summer, so I truly love spring. And I like watching things come back to life. What other weird jobs did I have? Job in high school, doing alterations at a women's dress store. And then my next job was working for the state of Colorado at the community college for student government. What else? Yeah. Then I got like real live jobs. Typesetter. I was a typesetter. Printer. Most people, I think, start out, or a lot of people, not most, but a lot of people start out doing food service in fast food restaurants as entry-level jobs. Ooh, we could have a food service worker that works at a monster fast food place, and we'll have to figure out what kind of fast food they serve. Okay, thanks, Kitty Jen. I'll look for him after I get off. He started out as shoe salesman, changed careers, vacuum cleaner. Then a ballpark beer vendor. Dan would be a shoe salesman, don't you think? When you guys were young, I remember we lived just like a block away, half a block away from a mall, and there was I think it was a Kenny shoe store. There was a couple of shoe stores anyway, but there were, you know, men that worked in there that sized your feet and stuff. Don't you think those guys were like a little creepy? Can you imagine having a job where you have to touch women's feet all day long? Oh, that would be the most worst job in the world, I think. Uncle Dan, were you a shoe salesman? Did you fondle women's feet all day? You foot fetish freak. Yuck, right, Anne? That's the most disgusting thing I could think of, is touching strangers' feet all day long. And then the second career that I think would be the grossest thing ever. Well, proctologist would not be good, okay? Just say, I think we can all agree on that. I don't have to say it out loud, even though I just did. But the next ickiest job that I can think of is being a dentist. You were a banking management in tech administration? Well, aren't you just fancy dancy, Rachel? Holy crap. I ran cuts and fills on new highways for the cuts and fills. You mean where they actually cut out part of the road and refilled it with tar or something, CB? You're not a tar person. Get out of here, CB. I'm never going to believe that. But a foot or a shoe salesman would be a bad career because I hate feet. But worse than that would be dentist. Having your face and hands in people's mouths all day long. Do you know how filthy people's mouths are? Not because of the things they say, just because they're filthy. The tax collecting monster again. This was seen on Lena, Miss Linux. She's in chat, 2010. There was the tax collector. You started as a florist, then display designer for store windows, then hospital or supply tech. Oh, you guys had some crazy, crazy jobs. My first job was making bows on a bow machine for a Holly farm. They hired me because you were left-handed. Now that's a weird job requirement, Sharon. Yeah, you can come to work for us if you're left-handed. I actually did make bows when I worked as the alterations at a woman's dress store. At Christmas time, of course, we wrapped. Men would come in and want, buy something for their wives, and want it all wrapped. And so they had a bow machine, and I learned how to make bows there. And I also learned how to wrap beautiful packages. Like they had a training, anybody who was, and they would pull me out when it was busy or something, and I'd have to go do that. But they actually gave us training in how to wrap packages just beautifully. You were a copy holder and a printers, where they dig the dirt and have to use it somewhere else. Hope to make them match. Okay. That's a crazy gynecologist would be awful. My mom always said men guy. I kind of agree, Lisa. What kind of guy does that? But what kind of guy wants to be a proctologist? Yeah, I can hardly wait till I grow up so I can be a proctologist. Vert the furk. They look like disco lights. Well, that's a good thing, Kitty Cat Jen, because he's a disc jockey. So maybe I'll do white lights sparkling off him or something. You just never know what I'm going to end up doing. And even though I used a stencil for these circles, they're certainly not coming out round. But you guys can't tell, so who cares? When you were 16, you had a job in a phone room offering 4 complimentary dancing lessons for Arthur Murray. Oh, that had to be a strange job, Barbara. Did you get a lot of rejection? I could not do cold call sales. the rejection would just, I'd end up cussing at people. I know me. I did have a job for a short time where I walked around. There was a brand new computer company, and they had like, it was actually almost like Windows software where all your stuff was integrated with just one software. It was great software. I wish it had actually taken off because it was a user interface software. But you got your accounting, your word processing, everything in one piece of software. And so I used to go distribute flyers, but that was just like walking door to door to door in like business areas, you know, because it was geared towards small business where you could buy the software, went on any Windows computer or any DOS computer. This was before there was a Windows, mind you. But all of your software was integrated. It was a great product. You could design and print books off it. It was awesome software. We used to make bows and rosettes for shrouds. This was a job we did at home during World War II. Wow, Dorothy. But I'm not good at like cold calls or something like that. Now, after the sale is made, you want me to go in and maintain the account. That's what I really excelled at. I could sell the hell out of it after I was in the door. And then ultimately I ended up running the Denver branch for a printing company, running a warehouse and managing people. And I have to say, out of all the jobs I had, and I can say this without hesitation, the worst thing about any of my jobs was managing people. I got my job right after college. I went to work at Atlantic Richfield, and I was promoted to supervisor fairly quickly, and I ran the forms and records department. So we had a huge record center, and there were employees out there, and then there were, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the office that did the forms management. Worst job, managing people. People are buttholes. You were in 4 years of the Navy and almost signed up as 7 years. You were in the Navy, Lena. Now, of all the things that I would have guessed, that would not have been one of them. That would not have been one at all. I'm going to go get my name stencil and write these down so you can kind of see a page start to come together. I don't think I would have been military material because I'm not sure that I would have taken orders well. That may surprise some of you, but I don't think me and management would have gotten along real well. But all my other bosses love me. Okay, I'm going to move his name over to here. Wait a minute, because I'm going to put his turntable out here, so I need it over here. Okay, never mind. I feel like I'm sitting here working in the dark. I love lettering stencils. They're one of my favorite things. I have tons of them. And I like projects like this where I actually get to use them. All right, there's Zug. All right, let me go back and read chat real quick, because I love chat. Constable at the naval base of Copenhagen. Are you kidding, Lena? I'm so glad to know that about you. Right, CB? Too much of a free spirit. That's what I think too. Managing the wrong staff is a pain. Yep. You taught for 34 years. Good on you, Anne. What did Rachel say? Worst job was administrator at an abattoir. Only last week, took over a month to get rid of that job. I don't even know what that is, Rachel. I'll have to look it up. Could be that's what gave air to your hippie genes. You think, Lena? The military turned you into a hippie? Oh, to get rid of the smell. Kat, that would be a perfect job. We're going to write that on the list. One of these monsters will definitely be a donut sprinkle spreader. I even like the way that sounds. Okay, one of them will have to be a constable in the Danish Navy. Sprinkles on donuts. Not the MP, but a constable. Is that even translated correct? Okay, Lena. I think constable would translate to like what we would call MP. Abattoirs, where they process. Ah, no way, Rachel. Oh, I couldn't work there. I could not work in a place where they kill animals. I couldn't do it. Nope. All right, so I'm going to write down my ideas over here. That he's age 24. His job is disc jockey. I'm not sure where he's from yet. Planet or universe. I'll figure that out. His favorite food is lobster. There's probably literally no end to the things you could actually create for these monsters, because your imagination would really be the limit. I mean, I could give him a family and a wife and a vehicle, and because you know there's certain things that just belong with certain people. Like thinking of Lena in the Navy. That does not fit in my pea-sized brain. Even though the one thing I know about Lena is that it doesn't matter what she does it well. So even as a constable, I imagine she would be incredibly successful. Yeah. Then we need a monster who crunch aged unicorn pop into tiny colorful. Oh, Lena. Look at, see, now Lena's imagination is crazy insane. Could he, of course he could eat the lobster shells as well, because I'm sure taking them out of the shells, that is like a human thing. Okay, I'll put that up next to Sprinkle Spreader, that his sidekick crunches up unicorn, so he's the sprinkler maker. My second choice would be nail polish color namer. Oh, Oh, cat and paste. That's what I want to be. I want to just be a art supply product name producer. A name polish namer. Those are some lofty goals you got, girl. One needs to be an airplane pilot. Well, I'm not sure if they would do airplanes. It might have to be like a UFO or some other means of transportation, or a bellhop. You think he puts the lobsters in the shells? That would be a mean, monstrous thing to do. What would you call him? A lobster shell inserter? A crafty monster? That would have to be the prettiest, nicest one we draw. So that might be sometime in coming. Okay. I'm not going to spend you guys time looking up a turntable, but I can promise you over here, probably up about this height, he'll have a lamp coming down. I'm drawing the turntable like the old 70s kind. And then a whole bunch of dials, and over here I will definitely show him at work, because I can probably do a really fun turntable. So yeah, he will be at work. A shell stuffer, there you go. Antenna doctor. There would have to be antenna doctors, wouldn't there, Kathy? Duh. A physical therapist for a grasshopper with a bad knee. All right, I'm writing all these down, so keep coming. A grasshopper physical therapist. Okay, now if I had that job, they'd all get squashed before they got back to the workout room. Zug is Dr. Johnny Fever, WKRP. Did you love WKRP in Cincinnati, Judy? I did. I loved that show, WKRP. We've got some good ones. Okay, and this guy is definitely going to be an opera singer. Okay, and it's dry enough now that I can go back and work a little bit more. I think I'm going to give him an orange belt. One nice thing about working on comp paper, it dries really quickly. So if you're in a hurry, you know, to get moving, you're not waiting forever for the paper to dry. And a heat gun will dry it in about 2 seconds. Les Nessman, yeah. And who was the receptionist? Lonnie, was it Lonnie Anderson? You used to listen to Wolfman. CB, I think if you look on the internet, you can find those old radio shows. I listened to a lot of those old radio shows. You had a major crush on Gary Sandy. That's funny. See, my memory of Wolfman Jack, it would be Oh, what's that movie? I want to say American Pie. Was it American Pie? Lonnie Anderson. Okay, see, my memory is not gone completely yet. That really makes me happy. Okay, I think I'll use the same blue that I used for his. Now, after this has been wet once, the lines will, the watercolors, will tend to want to spread, but I'm not going to worry about it. And if you don't like that, then definitely use colored pencil. All right, if you think of any other freakish things that we need to know about these characters, you need to put it in chat so I can get it written down. And I'll be thinking when I'm not streaming. I have to say, streaming today has made me feel more normal, so I'm happy for that. I have felt weird for an entire week. American Graffiti, there you go, Judy. Wasn't Wolfman Jack in American Graffiti? American Pie was the song or something, maybe. Yeah, American Graffiti, I love that. Ron Howard. Am I thinking right? Yeah, I haven't thought of some of that stuff for a long, long time. I don't know, you know, and maybe all old people do this. I feel bad for the kids today that they're not having the same opportunities that we had. And where does our opera singer Mons? See, we have to still decide that. We don't know where he comes from. Okay, now in small towns, and we didn't get to do it in Denver much. We used to drive up and down Colfax, but there was only, you know, like a certain area that we went to, my friends. But where you went out in Drug Main and went to A&W or one of those places and hung out, we just had more freedom, I guess, because the world was a safer place, you know, and if you were going out, your parents weren't so freaked out about who you were going to run into. I don't know if kids get to do that as much these days. And maybe I'm just nostalgic because I'm old. But, like, we could walk around our neighborhood with our friends. We weren't all worried and freaked out about strangers and what strangers were going to do to us. I don't know. I just think it was a better time. But it could be just that's the way I grew up, so I think it was the best. But I think kids need independence so that they can learn from their own mistakes. I mean, there's some things that I probably did that I learned a good lesson from. And thank God Mom and Dad never found out, you know? And that in itself was a miracle considering I had 5 brothers. I mean, there were no secrets in my world. Hang out at drive-in restaurants for hours. Right, CB? I think you're like me. I think that whole nostalgia is just like, it's so sad that kids don't have that today. And while you were doing it, you felt safe. You know, it wasn't, yeah. Now what do kids do? Sit in their bedroom and play video games with other people on the internet that they never meet in real life. But it was the going there and meeting the boys and flirting with the boys and I don't know. Amen on mom and dad finding out? Yeah, there was a lot of things. Thank God they didn't know about that. Now, years later, I told my mom and dad everything. Did you know this? Did you know that? Half of it they probably already knew. And when you're fifth in line in a family of 7, nothing you do surprises your parents. Believe me, they've seen it all before. Okay, Judy just said it. You think they don't know, but believe me, they find it all out. I think so too, Judy. You know, they just thought, well, she'll live with the blister after she gets burned. I'm sure that's the way my mom and dad thought about it. Oh, let her learn the hard way. What the hell? And believe me, plenty of instances where I did exactly that. All right, I'll start moving back this way so this can dry and I'm not getting my hand in it all over. Your dad just shuddered. I think my dad was a wild man himself when he was a youngster. Of course, he was a spoiled brat. He was the only boy in his family, so he was spoiled rotten, according to his sisters. And he did it all. Believe me, you could not surprise my dad. He did it all. And my mom grew up very sheltered in a small town where she couldn't get away with anything. That was the whole good girl marries bad boy kind of situation. My grandmother was 44 years old when she had my mother, so that makes you think. Well, my grandmother may have had trouble conceiving too. I mean, I don't know that. That's not something you would ever talk about with my grandmother for sure. So mother was either a mistake or a miracle, and I'm not sure which it was. They treated her like she was a miracle. Very spoiled. Spoiled woman my mother was. But so was my dad. So yeah, I got to do all the things that she wanted to and never could because of her family. They were very prominent in a small town, so my mother had to toe the line. I was the oldest, and I think my mom hit her head in the sand, and Dad was oblivious. I'm sure there's a lot of that too, CB. God, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I think my dad was so wise that was the reason most of the time we had to go camping. We had family weekends. I didn't get to do a lot as an older kid, high schooler. I mean, occasionally I did. I don't want to make it sound like I was kept from doing everything, but anything on the weekend, we were camping. My family camped, and we went as a group. Did everything as a family. So, like, I didn't get to go to the parties a lot. But I got away with plenty, regardless. And it was probably a good thing Mom and Dad did that, because I probably would have instigated half the rotten crap that happened. Because my brothers had already showed me how to do it. I'm going to have to look up an opera stage to see what kind of crap I have to paint in there. now parents can't say that children's aid. See, that's what I think is wrong with the world, Janet, is there's too much interference, you know? Parents need to be able to kick their kids' butt. And I don't mean physically beat the shit out of them. I don't think that. My dad never had to hit us. We were scared of... All he had to do was look, and I would straighten up. I think a little bit of fear of your parents is a good thing. And not because they beat you, but because they have high expectations of you. But one thing about my dad, I will say, because he didn't get good grades in school, pretty much when it came to stuff like that, he was always okay. Like, if you did your best, that's good. That's good. Like, they didn't have unrealistic expectations, which I think is a good thing, too. You can't do that to your kids. But I think having a good, healthy respect and fear of your parents is not a bad thing. Sweet. I like that border. Now I might put balls on either side of it. And a red opera curtain, that's a good idea. I'll write that on the page. Where is my... Okay, reading chat. My dad says if he could do it all over again, he wouldn't have kids. I don't think my parents went that far. That was a good rule, Anne. Go out and have fun, be home at 6. Your mom was 42 when she had you. My mom was 30 when she had me. I like hearing about you guys as you were growing up. Oh yeah, I'm sure the singing monster comes from outer space. There's no doubt. But I just have to come up with now a crazy name of a planet or a universe or something like that. So I should make you guys do that for a few minutes. My big brother used to use me. Yeah, see, my grandma used to tell me things that my dad did. But she was the kind of person, too, that thought it was cute. You know, like she totally indulged her only boy. We printed off a list of crazy things to do at Walmart and did almost all of them. I don't think the list online was actually meant to be followed. There you go, see? All right. Jen, I'm using that one. Zoter. And I will build that into the story because each of these will have their own story. Yeah, I probably will do a red curtain so I can write what little bit I'm going to write. And then I may use the back for writing more. So there you go, Kitty Cat Jen. I'm going to use that one. What was that? I was going to just do something. What was it? And I will shade all these later and add highlights and stuff like that. Oh, I was going to write his name down so I don't have to go back and look it up later. This one was Puig. Okay, I have another question I want to ask you guys. Maybe I've asked you before because I've had this question for a long time. And here a couple weeks ago, Robert's grandson came down. And I always kept a video game system, always the current one with games and stuff in the house for the kids. And when they came here, it was probably stupid, but we still had evenings and stuff. But I like the kids to be out swimming in the lake, fishing, going to the pool, whatever, actually out doing things. But we played video games too. Do you think video games have been good for our young people? And I can say with all honesty, I go both ways, but I'm just curious. Since I have a group of people here at a certain age group, I'm interested to see if you think video games have been a good thing for young people. Because Robert's grandson, I should know his age, and if I sat down and thought about it, I could, but anyway. He's an adult now, has a job, but in his spare time, still, and he did it here, online. In his spare time, what did he do? Played video games. He wasn't out learning to, his grandpa would teach him how to rebuild an engine, use a tool, almost anything. Things that he doesn't know how to do. He has no interest in that stuff. But he'll spend hours and hours playing video games. Do y'all think that's a good thing? I think he should be out with his grandpa learning how to repair a damn mower, frankly, my own self. Because he doesn't have anybody else in his life to do that for him. So I'm just curious. Okay, we got a name. Not the violent ones. Okay, see, you guys are saying the same thing. No. See, I kind of think the same way. B's were frowned upon and C's were a disaster. See, now I think I got a C in something. Maybe once. But my dad was like, well, if you did your best. Okay, so 25% yes and 75% no. Okay, Brenda thinks that's probably a good good average. I think if we're going to have them, or if you're going to allow your kids to have them, my kids didn't want them. We had the video game system. They just didn't play it. They didn't want to. But they were into things like skiing and rock climbing, and I had chores for them, so they weren't going near that game until their chores were done. Yeah, not for the ones who just sit in their room and do nothing but play games. Yep. Okay, now see, Rachel, I can see that, where your nephew took that interest and turned it into developing a new game. They no longer know how to socialize. See, Kathy, that's what I'm thinking too. And they're losing skills. That's the thing that I think, is that they don't know how to do practical things that people in the future are going to have to know how to do. You need to learn how to fix your own toilet when it's leaking. You shouldn't have to call a plumber. Anybody should be able to fix that leaky toilet, or, whatever. Just certain life skills. Change a tire on a car. You shouldn't have to pay AAA to come change your tire on your car. I can change my damn tire on my car. You know what I'm saying? Moderation is the key word. Yeah. Yeah, and see, I had the Wii Fit, where I was actually doing exercises on the thing. Oh, now see, that's an unusual take, Rachel. Couple in the restaurant on their cell phones. Now see, that's an aspect of it I hadn't really looked at, but yeah, that could be beneficial in that way. So I guess it's easy to judge from afar, right? And I think that's probably a good lesson for all of us. Don't judge from afar. Hi, Helen. Okay, you and your hubby play video games all the time. We play them together with your kids. Yeah, see, that's what I think. I think the video games, or your time on the video games, one should be limited to no more than X amount of time per day, and that it's a reward, that you use it like currency. Okay, if you finish all your chores by 4 o'clock, you get 30 minutes on the game. And I don't know if that's fair, if I'm just a pain in the butt. My kids never wanted them, so it was never a problem for me. See, that's what I think too, Janet, that their future is going to be so different from ours because everything's moving so fast. I agree. When I think of the things that happened in my grandmother's lifetime, from there were no cars. I mean, Model Ts were out just before my mother was born. So, and then my grandmother died in 1983, so she saw cars, phones, man walking on the moon, the whole space program, of course the war, battleships, airplanes. I mean, when you think about just in her 103-year life, the things she saw, telephones, like, and now I don't even know if we can anticipate what's coming next. Artificial intelligence for absolute certain. Now, how that's going to impact individuals' lives, I think it's going to be enormous. But that scares me as well. Your son's 30. I think things have changed since he was a kid. Yeah, for sure, Kathleen. For sure. Hi, Teresa, and I'm not surprised that your 3-year-old grandchildren can use a computer better than you. That doesn't surprise me even a little bit. Okay, now I have another provocative question. If you had small children today, and I don't know, maybe some of you do, your grandmother lived for 96 years? Yeah, mine lived to be 103. She lied about her age for so long that nobody really knew until she died how old she was. At what age? Now this is a weird question because I don't even know how I would answer it. But I think telephones, our cell phones, are a remarkable advancement. I think in some ways it's good, and I think in some ways it's disastrous. Okay? When I see people just sitting on their cell phones and not picking up a pencil and drawing, I think it's a horrible thing. I'm going to go ahead and draw the next monster. Okay, I'm going to draw it on this side. At what age do you guys feel like is good? And Lena, you probably have already had to deal with this. At what age should a child get a cell phone and all the time access? And I want this fatter, so I'm going to make this like this. That's something we were talking about this weekend, is what age should kids have a cell phone and have complete access? Now, I think kids need one for safety, okay? If they're away from the house and they need to be able to get a hold of mom and dad, they need a cell phone. I don't know how we did it. I guess I just had to use a payphone. Keep a dime in my pocket all the time or something. When they can pay for it. I could kiss you on the lips right now, Kathy Arbor. They just replaced the 1950 census. It has been computer indexed. It did a remarkable job. Oh, I'd like to look at that, Kathleen. Okay, your son got one when he was 13 and wasn't allowed to use it during school. 12. Yeah, see, I think I would have like a burner phone, something that had limited access on it, but that they could use it to get a hold of me in the event of emergency or something. But and it's not something that I ever had to worry about because my kids were grown before personal cell phones were a thing. In fact, Jim died in 2000. And I was going to see one of the kids about a month after he died. And my neighbors and everybody was telling me, you get a cell phone before you leave home. And I didn't have one. I did not have a cell phone before the spring of 2000. Yeah, I know where to go to get it, Kathleen. Oh, I want it mouthed bigger. So that was my first cell phone, and it was just a flip phone that all you could do is call on it. I would give my kids a flip phone. And I think after a certain age, maybe like 75, you should have to revert back to a cell phone. Just saying. That you can't have a smartphone anymore because you're too stupid to use it. Your son had a phone when he was 13, but they weren't smart. You need some earrings hanging from those antennae and a pearl necklace. Oh, I'm on it, Rachel. We'll make the balls bigger. And we'll turn this into a pearl necklace. So this one, we're turning female. And don't even go with the whole thing. That'll just piss me off. Actually, well, I don't care. She is a beauty. Bye, Janet. Thanks for coming. It was nice to have you. One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. It certainly can, Kathy. Yeah. That's what I think, Kathleen, that a smartphone is giving them unlimited access to the world. And I don't know how much you can... Okay, Dorothy, sorry. I feel sorry for the people who have to help you with it. No, I'm kidding. I have to help Robert with his all the time. When you're on the phone, you need to go looking for your phone to find a phone number. You definitely... Well, I hear you. Seeing... I don't know. These things kind of just intrigue me as much as anything. Is so much has happened, and so much of it is not a horrible thing, in my opinion. But how much do we stop and think about the impact it has and whether or not it's good for mankind? That's my whole point, is you can't stop progress, and I am very aware of that, and I wouldn't want to. But I think, too, as we progress, somebody, you know, artificial intelligence, in my opinion, is a perfect example of this, is where do we draw the lines and say, okay, this is enough already? You know, that's the thing that kind of freaks me out. I'm at an age where I'm, you know, it's probably not going to impact my life that much, partly because I'm not going to let it, because I'm going to do things the way I want to do them. You like Cass's answer? I did too. So, you think she's a waitress? This is a waitress? We could put a tray with drinks in her hand, on her arm. Scotch and water coming at you. Okay, we've got her name is what? Gerp? Gerp is a good name for her. Rhymes with slurp. I think her job, actually, as a cocktail waitress is a good one, because her arm was just made for that tray of drinks. I think so too, Kathy, that it's caused more stress. I think so too. And I don't think that's going to slow down. And I think that's, okay, if you look at the statistics, and this is probably the most unpolitically correct show on the internet, so it doesn't really matter to me, but when you look at the statistics of people who are suffering from mental distress, I don't want to say mental illness, I want to say mental distress, where they're taking medications to help them manage their everyday stress. I wonder how much of that is caused. ADHD, you know, kids are being put on medication. When I was a kid, we had kids that just misbehaved. They were just rotten little kids that needed, more than anything, needed discipline. I wouldn't have thought of misbehaving in school. My son was sick in a wheelchair when he was little. I know that gaming made him be an avatar who felt equal with normal kids. Gaming made him shift focus and be social from home. And see, Lena, that's another aspect, and that's why I like having these conversations, is because, you know, I tend to look at things from my perspective, because don't we all? But then you've got that kid that was sick and in a wheelchair, and so that was his lifeline to kids his age, to make him feel more normal. So in that instance, I'd have to say you were a great parent for giving him access and letting him be not so isolated. And I'm not sure where that balance is. See, Rachel, that's how I am. I always take my cell phone, but if I'm away from home, in fact, Saturday, because we were at the memorial and there were people around, before we went in, I just turned Robert's and my phones off. I don't want it beeping. I don't want it, because your instinct is to grab that phone immediately and look at it. I didn't need that. I didn't want that. Okay, and Rachel has an autistic nephew that is the same. Now, see, I'm glad to hear stuff like that, because I can see how, on one hand, I think it's detrimental to kids' maturity and socialization, but on the other hand, it gives some kids an outlet. Yeah, it's on a case-by-case basis, for sure, Kathleen. It is a hard balance, how much time we spend on streams. That's true, Lena. But, okay, now I can say this with all certainty. If I was back where I had a job and the kids were at home and stuff like that, you'd never see me on the computer, ever. We had a computer. I did not get on it. I didn't have time. between, driving to and from work, working from home, taking the kids to their activities, keeping their clothes clean, feeding them, getting groceries. I never, ever could have sat down and gotten on my computer. This is a luxury now that I'm retired. Exactly. And I have to tell Robert that a lot, Kathy. Like, he has this "you must answer the phone" syndrome. In mine, I'm like, if it's important, to leave a message or call back. I'm not going to be at their beck and call constantly. Okay, and then Rachel also has a comeback for that your life, because if it wasn't for the online community and people that I've met online who have become, in my opinion, friends in real life. Dee Dee, for example. I am not good at going out and finding friends in real life. I used to be really good at it when I was younger, but then after I got married and had kids around, that ended. I didn't have friends that I went and did things with. My life was my husband and the kids, and I was okay with that. That was perfect for me. And I'm not a person who would go to a bar and hang out. That's just never been my thing. I'm not going to do it. I didn't do it then. I'm not going to do it now. So the computer actually gives me a social outlet as well. And I've learned things that I wouldn't have, taken a class to go learn or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess there's two ways to look at everything. It can be used for good or bad, depending on how you use it. I know for Robert, like, he likes watching airplane movies or how to fix things and stuff like that. Oh, CB, you and Z are my friends in real life too. I mean, I think of all of you as my friends in real life. Certain of you I have met face to face, and CB, you are my friend in real life. And we talk on the phone, so shut up. And that's how I treat my friends in real life. That was one of the best things in my life, CB, was going to Australia with you and Z. And when the world quits being such a crazy damn place, I'd like to do it again. Janet and I are friends in unreal life. See that, Rachel? That's what we are. We are friends in unreal life. And the crazy thing is, I think there are certain fibs that if I called and said, I need your help, would you do this? I think there are people that I've met on the computer that would actually do it. That I feel very close to. And there's very few people in my real life that I would do that, other than family, And I don't watch near as many streams as I used to. And probably while Jim was sick, and I didn't have much opportunity then, but that was my, the computer was my entire life outside of this house. Because taking him anywhere was difficult. Yeah, I pretty much went to his physical therapy, doctor's appointments, grocery store, and occasionally out to eat. Otherwise, there was no social activity. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Okay, I'm not gonna draw the drink tray in. I'll pencil that in. It'll be on here the next time you see it, I think. I like her. I'm gonna watercolor her real quick and then my time will be up. So then I have to figure out what to feed Mr. Vaughn. Oops, I forgot the earrings, Rachel. What the hell? What kind of earrings? I mean, I put them up there just so I would remember. Let me think. My favorite earrings that I wear all the time. Oh, what do I want? I could have just put loops, but I'll just put more pearls. There you go. Looks like a nurse topaz. Oh, you think the drink tray should be up here? Okay. So when it falls on people, it can fall a greater distance. I agree with that. All right. Gerp has her drinks on her tray. Yeah, she's badass, this one. Now I wish I could add sound. We'd have to put music, oops, in the background for her. Like UFO country and western. I wonder what that would sound like. It couldn't have, you know, words about a truck and stuff like that. So it'd have to be about whatever they call their vehicles. All right, I don't know why, but I just feel like she needs to be orange. Don't you think? In the book, she's purple and blue, but... Right, Helen? There's something wrong with me. Drown this smarmy guy who pinched her butt. No lie. Oh, man, if I had ever been... Oh, I didn't clean my brush. Dang it, now I got blue in the orange. Don't do what I do, peoples. Yeah, I think all self-respecting cocktail waitresses should be orange and pink. I get the feeling that all of the wrenches should be seated in the corner. At this stream, absolutely. Yeah, her face is going to be pink and her body is going to be orange. I like doing the monster books because you guys are a little whacked. And probably tonight, you guys, I think I told you guys, I've been binge watching old Survivor. So many of them I've seen, but the nice thing about Survivor is it takes your mind off of anything that's happening in the real world. So I've been binge watching old Survivors. So tonight, while I'm binge watching Jeff Probst, who I happen to like very much, watching him age over the years is a really weird feeling. But anyway, yeah, I'll be shading these tonight while Jeff entertains me. And I have to say, the early survivors were a lot harder than the survivors now. Well, there are other guys that have aged better, CB. I mean, he's not hard to look at, that's for darn sure. But I don't know. I think there are some men that just have aged so darn well. Sean Connery being one of them. I mean, he was just such a hunky guy. And Jeff definitely is a nice looking man. But he's not Sean Connery aging well. But I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers. That's for damn sure. Okay, I was thinking I was going to do her arms the opposite, but I think I will do her arms. Still the orange, but put pink dots, pink suckers on them. I'm obsessed with Survivor. I was planning to watch it next. Who's your favorite? My favorite Survivor of all time? I don't think I'm unusual in saying Boston Rob. Yeah, I think my favorite Survivor of all time is definitely Boston Rob. But there's so many of them that I like, and when they come back, I'm always like really happy. I hated Russell Hantz. I mean, I hated that guy. And I'm not sure why Survivor even brought him back, because I guess for ratings, it's good to have people that people hate, just like it's good to have people that others like. But Russell Hantz I really hated, and his nephew was vile, in my opinion. I mean, there's just something genetically wrong with that whole family. Sorry. Not politically correct, but that's the truth. There was something wrong with them. You love to hate Russell too? For sure. For sure. What, Grumps? She needs a feather boa? Oh, that would be kind of good too. It might be too late for that. Boston Rob, hands down my favorite. But the thing I think about Boston Rob that makes me say, oh, he's my absolute favorite, is him meeting and falling in love with Amber, and then playing together, and then him proposing to her on the live reunion show. And now if you look him up on the internet, that they have 4 little mini Ambers. I think that's part of the reason that I just love Boston Rob so much. And I like Rupert. I like Rupert a lot. I like Tina. They made a Hans Family reality I watched about 5 minutes and it was already. Oh, they did make a Hans Family reality TV show? That had to be the most disgusting thing on TV. There is absolutely nothing likable about those awful people. Absolutely nothing likable about them, any of them. And I don't even know what season I'm on right now. This looks like her lipstick smeared. Alright, I need the pink. Alright, I'm going to have to hit it with a heat gun. Heat gun. Never watched Survivor. Nope. If it's not your thing, Dorothy, it's not your thing. I don't like other reality TV. Like I tried to watch Big Brother. I was never a fan of that. I don't like any of the celebrity reality crap. I wouldn't watch that if my life depended on it. So the thing that's fun about Survivor, in my, the way I approach it and I watch it, is the social interaction. How people can justify, and I could do this myself, and I like to think of myself as a pretty honest, straightforward person. If you don't want to know the truth, don't ask me because I'm going to tell you. But if I was going into Survivor knowing what the whole game is about, I could compartmentalize that in this game, I am going to lie to you. That I would partition that off from me in real life, knowing that if I'm ever going to win this, I have to lie. But I like watching that whole social aspect of it, how people justify in their mind their bad behavior. Because I don't think that's any really different than what people do in real life, right? But the thing I don't think I would do is I would tell people going in that let's just all acknowledge that because this is a game, we're going to lie to each other. The game forces you to do that. So don't let's kid ourselves and tell each other that we're not going to lie and that we're not going to maneuver and we're not, like just, why do they pretend that they're not going to lie? I've never lied to you. Oh, you liar, you lied about your occupation. That's the thing that kills me, is they'll stand in front of the TV camera and say, oh, I never lied. Well, you didn't even give your proper occupation. What else are you lying about, I would just go in and say, we are all in a position right now where we're going to lie, we're going to backstab. That's the reality, and let's just all agree to that. Wouldn't that be interesting, Helen? Yeah, that would be interesting, to watch a show where nobody's ever watched before, to see if the social aspect and microcosm is kind of what I think of it as, would remain the same. Would they approach it the same? I think I would just go in and say, don't even think that you're going to get away with fooling me. I know exactly what the game's about. You're going to lie. You're going to steal my idol. You're going to do anything you can to get yourself further in the game. So don't be stupid. Let's just acknowledge that that's the way we're all going to play. And then you can lie after you've been honest about lying. Doesn't that make sense, you guys? Am I the only brainchild in the world who ever thought of that? Because I would tell you straight up to your face, I am going to lie to you. Now, the one thing that I think is despicable about Survivor, and it hasn't happened much, but it has happened a couple times, is where people go in to other people's bags to look for an idol or something like that. That, I think, that behavior, I think is unacceptable. I think if I bring a bag of my personal property, you cannot go into my bag to look for my idol or whatever else, you know? And the couple of times that that's happened, that's really bugged me. And I think I just mixed a color that is going to make me gag. Got a little bit out of control there. I wanted a dark purple, but I got it, like really, really ugly. Okay. I love when Yo Man made all those fake idols. Yeah, I did like Yo Man. I did like him. A lot of them I can't remember. So going back to previous seasons and seeing the people that I've forgotten that I really liked. He came back for one of the fans versus favorites, I think. And the nice thing is my memory is so bad, like when I start watching one of the reruns, or, one of the ones I've already seen, I don't remember who won, so it's like watching it all brand new again. I recognize the people, but I don't remember who had idols, what they did with them. I would rather do the shading with colored pencils, so even though I feel like I want to do that, I don't really want to do it. Okay. What if you weren't allowed to lie? Would be quite a game changer. That would be interesting, Kat. The thing is, I think as people, we are just sick enough that it's the finagling and stuff like that that we watch. We're living vicariously through these people who will lie, steal, cheat, whatever. But yeah, that's an interesting, or that you get penalized if you do something that is contrary to society's best interest. You know what I'm saying? Is that there should be a penalty system. I don't know. Be interesting. It really would. All right, I'm going to stop there. This was very fun, and I will be working on it probably this week. Next week, I probably will work in the napkin journal. I'll do something where I get more stuff out, and yeah. A short memory has its benefits. You get too excited about Survivor? Well, Helen, I wish you'd known Dee Dee and CB and Z and Terry and a bunch of us all used to watch Survivor together. We've kind of quit doing that. I still occasionally will text Dee Dee and say, can you believe blah, blah, blah. I'll still bitch about the show. So, all right, here's your monster journal. I've got, what, 1, 2, only 3 monsters that I can go ahead and write their story. I'll do a background and then write their story, or at least, a few things about him. He'll get a turntable. So, I hope you guys do something that you love. So, thanks for, you like working on the monsters, Kitty Jen. Cool. Thanks, Terry. All right, you guys, go have fun. Go do something productive. Be kind to one another. And it is going to be a fun journal, CB. So anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for putting up with me. Thank you for the prayer, Rachel. I very much appreciate that. Hi, Mariah. Bye, Mariah. Need a disco monster. Right there, girl. All right. I'll see you guys later. Adios, amigos.